So I felt it was interesting to talk about these certain type of weapons in the BlazBlue series known as legacy weapons. These legacy weapons are actually a set of powerful weapons that were basically used long ago. And they're actually out of place artifacts that were discovered by people long ago. Like the out of place artifacts are a thing, like OOPARTS or how people describe them. And that's actually a real life term. I think I've heard out of place artifacts being used before. But yeah, these legacy weapons are essentially just like really powerful versions. Like they're kind of like Nox, but at the same time not Nox. And on top of that, they also have a cost for using them. Now Nox do kind of have a cost, in a sense they kind of mess with your mental capacity of sorts. But legacy weapons are usually have a cost to use them. So first we're gonna talk about the stat. Oh god, here we go. This is the one I always. Damn you, Latin. Don't know why BlazBlue likes to use Latin, but here we go. The Signati Gladio Crystallis Murakumo. And it's actually a legacy weapon that is wielded by S. And, it was also used by Toya too, but who gives a damn about Toya? Now, the thing about the Murakumo is that the weapon is somehow sentient. The other legacy weapons aren't sentient of sorts, so this one is kind of special. And on top of the Murakumo being kind of sentient, it doesn't have some odd cost to be used for it. Like, I honestly have no idea why the Murakumo seems like the legacy weapon that kind of doesn't matter the most. Well, it matters, but it doesn't matter in regards of any world-changing abilities, anything major. But funny enough, the Murakumo blade is actually there's a blade inside of it. That's the blade itself. While it's the bigger blade around is like a sheath of sorts. So you're just basically putting a smaller sword within a bigger sword, which is I kind of find it cool. I cannot remember exactly what the Murakumo even does, but if I remember correctly, there's this thing in XBLAZE. There's these people known as unions, and they are basically people who kind of had to essentially they're able to use a drive of sorts, and this. They have a thing called crystals that allow them to be able to use a drive of sorts. And the Murakumo's main point is to kind of cut through a union's crystal. So that's pretty cool. But I think all the other legacy weapons are kind of cooler. Like the next one I want to talk about is the Sealed Spirit Ezioi. And this weapon is actually able to basically seal away magic against those who it's used on, which is actually kind of cool. And the sad fact about this is it's the Ezioi. So it's not the Ezioi, but it is a Ezioi. And using this can also turn the user blind if used long enough, which sucks. And it's hilarious to me because oh wow, it doesn't matter wherever you go, and anything called the Ezioi will turn you blind. It's also able to create this barrier that can't really be penetrated, so that's kind of cool. Unfortunately, you get blinded by it too, so that kind of sucks. It doesn't matter what it's called. It's the Ezioi will just blind you regardless of what weapon it is. So the next legacy weapon I want to talk about is the Sword of Destruction Kusanagi. I think the Sword of Destruction Kusanagi is actually the coolest one because it's able to it's literally able to nullify Phenomenon Intervention. And on top of that, the weapon gets stronger the more it keeps nullifying these interventions, and it just grows stronger and stronger. But despite all that, it's incredibly hard to wield because you need a lot of magic in order to even use it. And considering magic's a rarity in the world of BlazBlue, it's kind of, XBLAZE. The world of XBLAZE is kind of really hard to, use the weapon all too well. And, I kind of wish I could have I kind of wish I should have talked about the wielders, but the wielders don't even matter to this video. I'll talk about the wielders some other time. But yeah, the Kusanagi, I think it's the coolest one because, Phenomenon Intervention is a thing that affects everyone, really. Not mostly everyone in BlazBlue. So the fact that this weapon is able to nullify the Phenomenon Intervention and get stronger the more it does is actually pretty cool. I mean, the cost to use it is tough, but I think it's worth it. It's sick. So yeah, Kusanagi. It's also able to it has this weird thing where it's also able to let the wielder exist in all timelines at the same time. And if the wielder gets hurt in one timeline, it will affect every single version of that user in each timeline, which is weird. So basically, I can split the timeline into two. I kill you timeline A, you die timeline 2. It doesn't matter, you can't escape from me. And the final one we know of is the Galliaciferous Outseal, or the X-Seal as it's called in the main BlazBlue games, but it's called the Outseal. And the Outseal is actually a replica legacy weapon because it's created for 9. Why did I say 9? It's created for Mai. Damn. It was created for Mai. It was created by Kajun and Kokonoe, and it was specifically made for Mai. And the thing about it is, like, despite it being like one replica, like, it's actually, well, okay, let me boil this down. It's a replica weapon, right? But it's a it's a replica of the original version of the Outseal. So it's basically just like a fake of sorts, fake one created. But it's actually really powerful though. It's about as strong as a Nox Nictoris, and for whatever reason has the abilities to kill immortal beings. So it essentially acts as an immortal breaker. So, you know, let's chalk that up to more Izayoi callbacks. I mean, to be fair, the Galliaciferous is the only legacy weapon besides S's in the main BlazBlue timeline, because the Kusanagi and the Spear Izayoi are only in XBLAZE, but Murakumo and the Outseal are the only ones. Funny enough, they're actually in other versions of like BlazBlue different media rather than the main BlazBlue media until like Mai and S became playable, which is crazy to me. So the legacy weapons didn't really become a thing that mattered until like Mai and S really became, well, I mean, granted, it mattered in XBLAZE, but it didn't really matter to anyone who gave a damn about main BlazBlue timeline until S and Mai got in. Now, I don't know the price it costs to use the Outseal, right? Because with the Murakumo, it kind of has no cost. An Izayoi could turn you blind if you use it too much, and the Kusanagi requires you to have a lot of magic. But 2 out of the 4 legacy weapons do not have costs. I mean, well, Murakumo doesn't have a cost, but no one knows what the Outseal's cost is. It's apparently Bell. You guys know Bell, like Platinum the Trinity's original body, like the body, the Lunacina bullshit body of Platinum is actually the one that's acting as a limiter for the Outseal, so Mai won't use his full power and eventually find the cost of the weapon, I think. But yeah. Also, the Outseal dulls the pain of the users, so that's something cool. So Immortal Breaker, pain sealing weapons. I think that's it. But yeah, that's the legacy weapons. They're ancient weapons that are very powerful. There's only 4 of them.